Greetings and hello once again. This here is the ancient spirit Tralaka. Well, at least in spirit. Today, I am going to do the video. Long time in releasing. The file which is in my mind from that day in history, which New York and the rest of the world will never forget. Dun, 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 dun. Let me tell you, from an ancient spirit's point of view, what was seen by me in my mind's eye so clearly. My human aspect was just dropping off at the airport of O'Hare in Chicago a client. And the client, got out of the car and he was paid this beautiful 91 Lincoln, which I drove. The luggage was placed carefully on the airport cart and the money graciously received with a sizable tip. As the client made his way with the luggage away, I closed the hood of the trunk gently, very gently, because it's electronic and I don't want to get my fingers caught in it because it hurts like a anyhow, and placing the money in my pocket with a little smile. Then I fell against the Lincoln and shook my head. And then I shook it again. And I was just speechless and I shook my head. And I feel like something had occurred in this reality that shouldn't have. Something had occurred that had jumped pathways and probabilities all into this now minute and this reality groove. As I got back into the beautiful 91 Lincoln, that was, and I just had to get home. And to make sure what in the hell was going on, I rushed with the Lincoln back home, back over the state line, back to my home. With a quick, deep meditation, I thought, because something so big had happened which was not supposed to have, but did. The company phone rang as I drove. I touched the button on my headset. Hello?
Yeah, this is Fred. Oh, remember me? Yeah, owner of the company and the car. Hey, the Twin Towers has just been hit by planes.
What? What? I responded, sputtering. Are you kidding? Really?
No, Fred. I replied, I'm getting serious with you for a change on the phone. It appears that 2 planes hit the towers, and now all the planes have been ordered nationwide to land until further orders. As Fred replied, and then added, what is your feeling on this? You are a spiritualist. Let me know.
So, well, understand, my boss and I, we had this understanding, and he also had this understanding that I was a very old school spiritualist, and because we talked many times about points of view from that angle. This is bad, Fred, really bad, I replied. A chain of events has just happened that this reality we live on right now in this groove had been moving away from as the mass consciousness of this planet of awakened spirit humans was leading much greatly into peace. Somehow, this was ripped away and an entire reality jumped quite a few probabilities of reality and plunked boop, into this abomination. Plunked this abomination into this groove, this reality we are living on, and the Big Apple, New York, is host to it. So I drove the car, that beautiful 91 Lincoln,
as fast as I could to get home, to be able to meditate on this while it still burns into the groove of the reality we are in. I wanted to see if I could get some clues. Fred responded, well, that works for me. The phone lines are going to be dead for a few hours anyhow. Yeah, go figure. Go do your meditation. Let me know what happens.
I pushed that 91 Lincoln really hard to get me home faster. Came to a long sliding stop in front of my mobile home steps with the writing that had the writing of Namaste across the back of the steps. Da, 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 da. I murmured, not much peace today, as I got out of the car and shook all the energies off me which did not belong to me, unlocking the mobile home doors, and I entered. Locked both locks right away, and I went to my meditation area I had all set up, then changed my mind and went to meditation area 2, which was on the bed with dozens of different crystals, herbs, and symbols in specific locations surrounding, above, below, all around. And I closed my eyes and slowed the breathing, placing full armor of the Mars warrior around me, and I could feel the safety within as I saw this armor with my mind's eye on me. Then I projected out to 30 seconds before that first plane hit the towers and landed in the center of that plane, IOA. There was no humans to either side or in front or behind, but 2 rows of pelleted drums of something. And in the short time I had, I quickly went to the open cockpit doorway and looked in. Who was the pilot? Not human, not human, but a form of reptilian, not a draconian. I repeat, not a draconian. But what it had characteristics of the old Greys with an A, and yet was reptoid. At the controls, and a pilot and co-pilot both chanting, which what I felt as was a warrior's battle song. Then I got hit from behind. As I turned around for one brief millisecond, I saw an older Gray with an A dematerializing from that plane. The next instant, I was back into the human body at home, on the bed, with the mother of all headaches on the back of my head, and I could not move my physical body. It felt like somebody had poured a spirit net over my body. A bit was pressing harder and deeper into my human body. Although this was getting very painful, I was still able to summon many of my small spirit friends, and who quickly arrived and chewed on the restraints of that spirit netting until it was off of my human body. Just then, like usual, the phone rang. I helped as I pushed my body over to the phone. Hello? It was my boss, of course. Hey, did you find out what was going on? And by the way, I got a ride for you in about 45 minutes to take somebody back home. I'll give you the address in a bit. I replied, you know, Fred, you have such incredible timing. with, with a very stressed voice, I replied farther, oh man, uh, oh, by the way, it appears that this planet
has some old rulers here again, and beginning with the attacks today within our country's borders, they are marking their new turf. And it seems a deal within a deal has been made beyond the American citizens' backs, which will involve the entire world of Earth's human beings, and maybe also those within. Also, a bold attempt has been made today to shut down all the awakened spirit humans' spiritual attributes and aspects to be able to close the door and make back for everybody into the times of darkness of being a simple servant. And not, by the way, by choice. Everything we have long worked for on this planet has been swept away off the table of this reality we are in aspect of being out of touch of those whom are awake in spirit. Yet also we were many of those awakened, you and I, and many others. I will make this bet in their aspect that they're going to, that is the enemy, going to turn the thumb screws of discomfort and pain on us also.
Fred replied, "Oh, wow! Every time I ask you, wow! Things you know. Oh, hey, let me give you the address." So Fred gave me the address over the phone and where my next ride was going to be, going home to, and continued Fred by saying, "Hey, what's next?" I replied, "Well, rebuild the health of the mass consciousness and urge others to aid by awakening their slumbering inner spirit also. This is where the real power is, in the awakened inner spirit. And also to teach meditations and to urge others to get proper meditation understanding for the next dozen and a half years, and send out calls for help to every aspect of the living multidimensional universe upon which we can in our meditations, while we sharpen our spiritual tool knowledge, not the spiritual tools, but the spiritual tool knowledge, and also understanding, activating many different types of shields. Because today, a time clock was set. Today, it was set for an unknown time possibility for this reality we are in, for a war from outside of this planet, which could destroy most we have ever achieved for in this reality. This is the ancient spirit Tralaka. Journey far, journey safely. Always journey safely. And when you come back, take notes. Good night.